children, welcome to the online classes of biology. So we were studying chapter how do organisms reproduce, and in that chapter we have studied about the importance of variation for evolution and how this variation is created during the sexual reproduction. The differences between sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction, and then we also have seen what is the need of meiosis during the sexual reproduction. So now we are going to start a new topic, that is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So the reproductive part of the plants like angiosperm is located in what? A flower. So you can say flower is the reproductive organ of a plant, right? It contains the reproductive parts. So when you see the parts of a flower, you can see there will be sepals, there will be petals, there will be stamens, and there will be carpel. So these are, or carpel, or you can say it as the pistil. So these are the major parts of a flower. So what are the parts of a flower? It consists of sepals, petals, stamens, and pistil. And among this, stamens and pistils, they are the reproductive parts, means which are directly involved in the reproduction and which contains the germ cells. And sepals and petals, so they are not involved directly in the reproduction, so they are known as non-essential parts. And I told the sepals and the stamens and the carpel or pistil, they contain the reproductive cells or the germ cells. They are known as the essential part of a flower. So petals and sepals, they are not directly involved in reproduction, so we call it as what? Non-essential part. And then stamens, and then what? The pistil. They are directly involved in the process of reproduction because they contain the germ cells. They are known as essential part of the flower. Understood? Now, flowers can be unisexual. Unisexual means what? Which contains either stamens or pistil. Understood? So what are unisexual flowers? Which contains only the stamens or what? The pistil. Understood? So this kind. So that kind of flowers will be either male flowers if they contain only stamens, and they will be the female flowers if they contain only the pistil. Understood? So that kind of flowers are called what? Unisexual flowers. So what are unisexual flowers? Flowers that contain either of anther or stamen. Understood? Either stamens or pistil, or carpel. Then we call it as what? Unisexual flowers. And unisexual flowers, when they contain only stamens, we call it as a male flower, or will be called as a staminate flower. And if they are containing only the female parts, that is pistil, then we call it as a female flower or pistillate flower. So you can see this in papaya, watermelon, etc. So in papaya and watermelon, what you can see? Unisexual flowers. What do you mean by unisexual flowers? The flowers which contain either stamen or what? Pistil, not together. Understood? So even in bitter gourd family, gourd plants, you can see this kind of what? Unisexual flowers. So if you observe the flowers of this watermelon or any other plants belonging to this gourd family, you can see two different types of flowers are produced in them. The one which is becoming the fruit is actually what? The female flowers, and the other one which is not producing the male, not producing the fruit. They are actually the male flowers. Okay, and the flower can be bisexual also. What do you mean by bisexual flower? If they are having both stamens and carpels. Understood? So usually almost all the flowers what you see is what? The bisexual flower. Means what? It will have both stamens and pistil. Clear? Now, what are the parts of stamens? Stamens are the male reproductive part. Isn't it? The male reproductive part of the flower is known as what? The stamen. And the parts of stamen are, male part of the flower is called the stamen. Okay, and what is the function? It produces the pollen grains. Okay, pollen grains are produced by the stamens. Okay, and you can see this pollen grains when you touch some of the flowers. Okay, you can see yellow type of powder that sticks to your body. Okay, so these are actually produced by the stamen. And if you see the parts of a stamen, you can see a filament, a long what filament you can see. Okay, and then you can see an anther. Understood? So what are the parts of a stamen? Stamen consists of anther and filament. Okay, an anther will be there and a filament will be there. So inside the anther actually, filament is the long stalk. Okay, the stalk of the anther. Sorry, the stamen. Okay, and anther is the seen at the tip of the filament. Okay, and usually they are having two lobes. Okay, and inside that you can see the pollen sacs are there, and inside that the pollen grains are produced. So where the pollen grains are produced? Inside the anther. Anther is what? It's a part of pollen grain. What? It's a part of stamens. So what are the parts of stamen? Filament and anther. And next is what? The pistil. Okay, pistil is actually what? The female part of the flower. Okay, and it is present in the center of the flower. Okay, and if you see this, there are three different parts. They are ovary. Okay, then you can see a long style and you can see a stigma. Understood? So these are the parts of what? Pistil. So what are the parts of pistil? Pistil means it is the female part and it consists of, or it is made up of three different parts. What are they? Ovary, style and stigma. Okay, so ovary is the lower part, okay, lowermost part of the the pistil, which is swollen, and that is having many ovules, one or many ovules attached to the ovary. Understood? And you can see a style. Style is a long structure that originates from the ovary and which connects the stigma to the ovary. Okay, style is what? Style connects the ovary to the stigma. Okay, then what is the function of stigma? Stigma is the place where what happens? The pollen grains come and stick during the pollination. Is it clear? And ovary contains what? Ovules. Okay, and each ovule will have an egg cell. Understood? So this is what part of a pistil. So each pistil will have how many parts? They will have an ovary. Okay, then one style. Okay, one style and one stigma. Okay, stigma. This is the stigma, the cotton type or the velvet type of structure that you are seeing in the hibiscus flower. Have you seen 5 velvet like spots are there on the top of the flower? They are actually what? Stigma. Okay, so stigma, style and ovary are the parts of what? The pistil. What are the parts of stamen, anther and filament? Okay, so pistil consists of what? Stigma. Okay, stigma, style and ovary. They all together constitute the pistil. Now stamen consists of what? Anther and filament. Okay, and they are the parts of stamens or the male part. Understood? Now ovary contains what? Ovules in them. Okay, there are ovules. These contains what? Ovules, and in each ovule there will be female gametes. Okay, so female gametes are formed where? Inside the ovule. Okay, and the pollen grain is having the male gametes. Okay, male gametes is seen where? In the pollen grains. So pollen grains are not actually the gametes. They produces what? The male gametes. And female gametes or egg is found where? Inside the ovule. Ovule is not the female egg. Understood? It is producing the female gamete or egg. So I told you the pollen grains consists of what? The male gametes, and the ovule contains the female gamete. Understood? So during fusion, fertilization, this two gametes they fuse and result in the zygote formation. Understood? So once the pollen grains are on the stigma, this process can take place. What? The fertilization of male and female gametes. So the pollen grains first has to be transferred from stamens to stigma, isn't it? So this process is known as pollination. So what do you mean by pollination? Pollination is what? The process of transfer of pollen grains from anther. I have already explained you the pollen grains are formed where? Inside the anther, isn't it? Inside the anther it is produced. So from anther the pollen grain has to reach to the stigma. Okay, so this process is known as pollination. Okay, and if the pollination is occurring between the anther and stigma of the same flower, okay, it is known as what? The self-pollination. Or you can say, if the pollination is occurring between the anther and stigma of the same flower, or between the anther of one flower of one plant to the stigma of another flower of the same plant, okay, then we call it as what? Self-pollination. So pollination is what? It is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma. And if this pollination is taking place between the anther and stigma of the same flower, or between the anther of one flower of the plant of one plant to the stigma of another flower of the same plant, then also we call it as what? Self-pollination. What is it? Self-pollination. Okay, and if the pollen grains are transferred from one flower to another, or you can say one flower of one plant to another flower of another plant, then it is known as what? Cross pollination. Understood? So what is cross pollination? The pollination takes place between two different plants, you can see. Understood? Means from the anther of one flower of one plant to the stigma of another flower of another plant. Understood? Then it is known as what? Cross pollination, isn't it? So this transfer is achieved by various agents like wind, water, animals, etc. They act as various agents in transferring the pollen grains. Okay, so on that basis there are different kinds of pollination like anemophily, entomophily, okay, hydrophily, etc. So what is all this? On the basis of what? On the basis of, so depends upon the agents, like which agent is helping in the pollination. Okay, they are of different types. Okay, sometimes pollination can be achieved by wind, sometimes water, sometimes animals. Likewise, different agents are taking part in the process of pollination. Okay, so the major function of petals are what actually? To attract the insects for pollination. You can see that the petals are sometimes highly colored, sometimes you can see they are having scent or fragrance, sometimes they are having what? the nectar. Okay, so all these are actually some techniques developed by the plants to attract the insects for pollination. Is it clear? So what we have learned today, parts of a flower. What are the different parts of a flower? Sepals, petals, okay, then stamens and pistil or carpels. Understood? And I told you the different parts of stamens, that includes what? Filament and anther. Okay, and the part of pistil involves ovary, style and stigma. Okay, ovary contains what? Ovules, and inside that only egg or female gamete is produced. And pollen grains contains what? The male gametes. Okay, so the male and female gametes will fuse after the pollination. So what is pollination? Transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma is called what? Pollination. And if it is taking place between two flowers of the same plant or between the anther and stigma of the same flower, then we call it as self-pollination. And if it is taking place between two different plants, then we call it as cross-pollination. And for cross-pollination, many agents are helping, isn't it? Like insects, birds, wind, etc. On that basis, pollination can be divided into different kinds. Okay, so let's study the rest of the part in the next class. Thank you very much.